He saved a beggar's life, then found out who he really was. When Jack stopped to help a weak beggar on the street, he thought it was just a simple act of kindness. But that single moment changed everything. What began as a good deed soon pulled him into a secret world of danger, mystery, and a truth he never expected. The sun was blazing that afternoon when Jack walked out of a grocery store. He was carrying a bag of bread, milk, and some apples. The street was noisy, cars honking, people rushing by, and the sound of music from a nearby shop. As Jack crossed the road, he noticed a man sitting by the corner. The man was dirty, his clothes torn, and his hair messy. A small tin cup sat in front of him with just a few coins inside. "Please, some water," the man whispered weakly. Jack stopped. He looked around. No one else seemed to care. People passed by like he didn't exist. Jack hesitated, then walked over. "Are you okay, sir?" The man didn't answer. His eyes rolled back, and suddenly he fell to the ground. "Hey, somebody help!" Jack shouted. But everyone just stared and kept walking. Without thinking, Jack dropped his bag and lifted the man's head. He could feel the man's pulse weak, fading. Quickly, Jack ran into a pharmacy nearby and bought some water and bread. He rushed back, poured the water carefully into the man's mouth, and fed him a little bread. The man coughed, then slowly opened his eyes. Why did you help me?" he asked in a shaky voice. Jack smiled. "Because no one else would." Tears filled the man's eyes. "You don't know what you've just done," he said softly. Jack laughed nervously. "It's okay, really. You'll be fine." But as Jack helped him stand, something strange happened. The man's sleeve slipped up, revealing a gold bracelet, shiny, engraved with the initials RK. Jack froze. He'd seen that name before, on the front page of the morning newspaper. "Wait, are you?" The man's lips trembled. "Please, don't say anything." "Not here." He looked around nervously as if someone was watching them. Jack's heart began to pound. Who was this man really? Why would someone rich be dressed like a beggar? The man looked Jack in the eyes and whispered, "If you want to know the truth, meet me tonight, behind the old train station. Come alone." Then he turned and disappeared into the crowd before Jack could even reply. That night, the sky was dark and thunder rumbled far away. Jack couldn't stop thinking about the man. Curiosity burned inside him. He grabbed a flashlight, wore his jacket, and sneaked out of the house. When he reached the old train station, the place was silent. Rusty trains sat on broken tracks. The wind howled through empty spaces. Jack's flashlight flickered as he walked slowly, calling out, "Hello? Are you here?" No answer. Just the sound of rain starting to fall. Then a voice. "Over here." Jack turned sharply. The man was standing near a broken wall, wearing a long coat now, cleaner than before. His eyes looked sharp, not weak anymore. "You came," the man said. "Good." Jack stepped closer. "Who are you?" The man sighed deeply. "My name is Richard King." Jack's eyes widened. "The missing billionaire?" Richard nodded. "I've been hiding. Someone tried to kill me, and they still are. I lost everything. My company, my friends, my trust. The only thing I didn't lose was my life. Thanks to you." Jack's mouth went dry. "Why would anyone want to kill you?" Before Richard could answer, a loud noise echoed from behind the wall, footsteps. Heavy ones. Richard's face turned pale. "They found me," he whispered. Jack froze as a black car's headlights flashed through the broken windows. Shadows moved closer. "Run," Richard said. "No." Jack didn't move. "No, I can help you." But before he could finish, the door slammed open and a voice shouted, "There he is." The flashlight fell from Jack's hand. The light flickered, and then everything went dark. When Jack opened his eyes, everything was blurry. His head hurt, and he could hear faint voices nearby. Slowly, the room came into focus, an old warehouse with broken windows and the smell of dust in the air. He turned his head and saw Richard tied to a chair. Two men stood near him, whispering angrily. Jack tried to move, but his hands were tied too. "Let him go," Richard said firmly. "He has nothing to do with this." One of the men laughed. "You think we care? You've been hiding for months, Mr. King. But today it ends." Jack's heart raced. Richard looked at him and mouthed something silently. "Trust me." Before Jack could understand what he meant, Richard tilted his chair slightly, hitting a metal pipe behind him. Suddenly, the old pipes burst, spraying water everywhere. The men shouted in surprise. Jack used the chance to twist his rope against a sharp piece of metal on the floor until it broke loose. He crawled toward Richard and untied him. "We have to go," Jack whispered. They ran through a side door, splashing through puddles and racing into the rainy night. The men chased them, but Richard led Jack through a narrow alley and into a small car waiting behind a dark gate. "Get in," Richard said. As soon as they did, the car sped off. Jack looked out the window, breathing hard. "Who were those people?" "My former business partners," Richard said quietly. "They betrayed me for money." Jack couldn't believe what he was hearing. "But why dress like a beggar?" Richard smiled sadly. "Because when you lose everything, you see who people really are. You were the only one who stopped to help me when I had nothing. You saw a man, not money." The car slowed down near a big white building. Richard looked at Jack. "You saved my life twice now. Let me return the favor." A week later, Jack stood in front of a tall glass tower with the words King Industries shining in gold. Inside, Richard was waiting with a warm smile. "Jack," he said, handing him a file. "This company needs people with heart. I want you to work with me." Jack's eyes widened. "Work with you? But I'm just—" "No," Richard interrupted gently. "You're not just anything. You're the kind of person the world needs more of." Tears filled Jack's eyes as he shook Richard's hand. From that day, Jack's life changed, not because he helped a billionaire, but because he proved that kindness can find you even when the world looks away. And every time he passed that same street corner, he left a bottle of water and a smile, just in case someone else needed a second chance. Final lesson. Kindness costs nothing, yet it can open doors you never imagined. You never know who you're helping, a stranger, a friend, or even someone who might change your life forever. If you found this story captivating, don't forget to subscribe and share.